this is how I made my live 2D for 1 week, is what I wanted to say and what was planned the video, but I know this is gonna sound like an excuse, but a lot of things happened. A lot of events have happened ever since I started the whole progress thing, and it was dragged on for too long to even be considered as 1 week. Even if I wanted to be petty, it's not gonna be 1 week. It's probably way more than that. I could just fake it and tell you guys that I made it for 1 week and blow my own tube. I mean, blow my own horn and tell you guys how good I am in doing this, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be fully exposed. I will be fully buck naked in front of you guys and tell you that I did not made I did not I wasn't able to finish this thing in just 1 week. No, I wasn't able to finish this thing in just 1 week. No. But first, but before we go to the main event, let's address the elephant in the room. No, I am not a Japanese porn. That's not the reason why I am censoring my model. Before I started the whole thing, I already planned the whole video of how it's gonna be, how oh, oh, how the video is gonna flow. I'm gonna have a grand reveal at the end of the video. It's gonna be epic. But I forgot a crucial thing when it comes to making an experience video in live 2D, and that is, in order for me to actually show you guys something, I need to show you the actual model. So this is the best remedy. This is the best solution I could think of. This is the solution that I could come up with. So you have to bear with me. Oh, another thing is, I really just really just for a second, just a short plug. I just really need to thank this wonderful people for sharing all this source material in YouTube. Because if it weren't for them posting those tutorials on YouTube, my rig would probably look a lot worse than it is right now. So big shout out to these people. Big thanks. I really appreciate what you're doing. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we can't really start the whole video without showing you the model. So drum roll, please. Ta-da! kind kind of anticlimactic. Huh. Well, after you make the most basic looking ass model, it's time to get right into the good part, cutting the models. Yay. Ooh, so exciting. Depending whether or not I have a footage of me cutting the limbs and butchering it inside. I'm not really sure if I can show you how I I separate my models. I'll just let my future self that is going to edit this video worry about that. Anyway, after you finish the exciting part, we're now going to do even more exciting part, for real this time, which is the actual rigging process. At this point, I started watching the tutorials since I can't go on a war without any weapons other than my empty brain. And boy, was it a pleasant surprise to know that Live 2D mostly use the same principles as 3D pipeline. So this should be a walk in the park, right? I have to say, it's not complicated. You know what I mean, right? Maybe I haven't gotten to a point where using Live 2D would become complicated or would be complicated since I'm only doing basic stuff, but rather than hard, it's just a tedious job to do. And another thing, while I was setting up the deformers, something weird is happening. I'm trying to make the other deformer a child. For some reason, it's not working, but thankfully, I haven't come across Brian Sui. I really hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Brian Sui's tutorial about parent and child. So I discovered that you can just drag and drop the deformer manually in the deformer tab. So that's what I did. So just to explain the principle that I use, I make a main controller deformer where it would control an entire part of the model. For example, the head. The head main controller would control everything inside it. I mean, the entire face detail from the eyes, nose, lips, and inside the main controller we have sub-controller that would control each part of the model that was inside the main controller individually, which technically is just another way to describe parent and child relationship, but for some reason doing it automatically just doesn't work. So yeah, I finished putting every deformers and I move on to putting the rotator for the head and shoulders. I don't know why I put rotators for the forearm and hand because I won't really going to use those two. So that's a waste of time, but maybe someday or in the future I might mess with it and do some things if I decided to touch Live 2D ever again after this thing. Oh, by the way, I should have probably mentioned this before. We started with all this deformer. I custom made the meshes and basically made a polygon shape vertices, the, the four dots that you need, the mesh, the art mesh. Those little dots that you can see, the art mesh, I just connected four of them, which makes it a polygon, and just connect it to just boop beep pop up. I just click the connect vertices to make it a tri-shape vertices because in Live 2D you need to make it a tri instead of polygon because in 3D you need to make the polygons I mean the vertices polygons, not tries. I mean you need to do it. Come on. You need you need polygons if you want to have a better rigging in 3D, but in Live 2D you need triangles. So just a little bit of trivia for 3D and how things happen in those places. Just throw in some informations that you would probably need in the future. If decided to move on to 3D after you mastered Live 2D. So, yikes. I forgot to record the most important footage, which is actually animating everything. So I'm just going to show you how it looks per parameter. I have a hard time doing the head turn because for some reason I didn't bother looking it up. I don't know, I guess I am quirky like that. But thankfully I wasn't a dum-dum for the entire process. I wasn't a dum-dum. Look guys, be proud of me, I use my brain. I use my brain a little bit. And I decided to follow Kiko Omori's tutorial for the mount rigging, so I was able to finish it a lot faster, albeit it's not perfect in some parts. And since I don't have a 1 week restriction anymore, yeah, you can really see the consistency crumbling down each day. Each day that comes by, my motivation to finish this Live 2D just slowly fades away in thin air. What a sad phonetic like. I decided that I wanted to make a custom expression, but once I saw how much parameter was needed, I did what every lazy fucker would do and just draw them one by one. As you can see, the expression that I'm doing is very heavily I mean inspired by Return of Manwa Sek. Mount Wa Sek. The manhwa, the Korean manga, but they wanted to be quirky, so they called it manhwa. I don't know, I just like how much of a troll his face is, so yeah, I decided to base it on him, not copy, okay? I am very original, please. And so after all the shit is done, finally, ladies and gentlemen, the final product. If there wasn't any problem, so we can't really have a smooth sailing progress, right? When I started to import my models, I started to import the models inside VTube Studio. I noticed that there's there's a problem. There's unconnect. There's a problem with the hair. There's a problem with the lashes. For some reason, it's not blinking like how it should when I turn my head in XY rotation. It doesn't really close. Only the lashes part, the eyelashes. So I decided to go back and fix all those things manually. I'm pretty sure there's a way to synthesize both lashes for every rotation of the head, but I haven't discovered it yet, so I just did how everyone would do it, just how everyone that don't have a very wide knowledge in live 2D would do it. Just do it manually. But after fixing all the mess, it's finally done. The grand reveal, boys and girls. Ta-da! So here is the final thing. It's not picking up properly because I have my lights turned off, but here's the final thing, the final rig, the finished model, the finished live 2D model, which is I'm very happy. And if you want, I want to show you guys something. Are you ready for it? Mm? I'm so grumpy. I'm a fucking boomer. Why do kids act like this these days? I like boobies. Uh, fucking disgusting, mate. Anyways, yeah. I'm so glad that it's finally over, and I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the whole progress. This actually the first time that I was able to do some sort of medium-sized project, right? Being a dead weight that I am, and a shame to my family, I'm actually very proud that I was able to finish something, because before I don't really have the motivations before, because I'm a lazy fucker. Yeah, I did notice a lot of things going through the whole thing. While doing these things, I noticed how much of a perfectionist I am. Well, not probably the same level of other perfectionists. I'm a perfectionist in a way that if I know that I can do something to fix things, I am not going to stop until I deem it passable, I think, which is the reason why this thing is dragged on as well, not just, the events. I was very stuck in the head turns, but as you can see, it still look like shit. It still look like scuff. But for my first time doing this, I think it's alright. You know, yeah, it really set me back for so long because I keep going back and forth. I keep changing the head turn, the head X and Y. Is just it's very scuffed. I mean, this thing is already scuffed, but this is somehow somewhat fixed already. You know, it's passable for me as a first time. Yeah, so I really need to work on that perfectionist side of me because I don't want I now that I notice that I am that kind of person. It kind of makes sense now. Everything is getting clear now why I keep getting stuck on some things that I do because I try to make it somewhat decent even though it's just my first time doing it. So I really need to work on that. I really need to fix that side of me, but I mean, it has some pros and cons. I could probably just live with that and just compromise and not sleep for several days just to finish some things. Because I mean, look at this. Look at this. For the first time, right? For a first timer, it's you gotta admit it's pretty fucking decent, right? And I also enjoyed the rendering process of the actual model. The design looks like shit, but I'm very proud of how I rendered this details, bro. I mean, for some reason, it doesn't have the same resolution quality as when I'm doing it in Clip Studio, but I'm still very happy with this. You know, so yeah, thanks for if anyone reached this part of the video, please like and subscribe. You know, if you enjoyed the whole thing, might as well stick in. So I stick in. I mean, hang out with me once in a while whenever I uploaded. So yeah, it was very fun, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I don't really have a niche that I want to go for. So I just want to do things that I actually enjoy and widen my skill set. I just want to do something I enjoy. I want to share it with you guys. I want to share, you know, the journey of, let's just say, the journey of discovering things that I didn't know I like. So yeah, uh, thank you everyone, and have a nice day. Goodbye.